Alright y'all, it's Tango, and this week we're making Ratatony, which is my family's version of Ratatouille, because I have little Italians that won't eat eggplant. If you like what we're doing, please click the like and subscribe button for me. Alright, let's go. Alright, this is our mise en place. So just to go from kind of left to right, we start out with thyme. I've got some thyme. That's more for a garnish than anything. This is our butter and our flour that we're going to make our roux with when we make our bechamel, and we're going to throw in a touch of nutmeg. The bouillon cube is here because we're going to add that to the water when we boil the potatoes. We're going to slice all this up. I dice the red pepper and add it as a garnish. I said earlier that I put the thyme as a garnish. Really, it's more of an ingredient than the red bell pepper is. I add it to both the sauce that's going to go in the base of our pan, and the bechamel will be added to that sauce as well. So it makes kind of like a creamy tomato sauce, almost like a creamy spaghetti sauce. We're going to slice these up. We're going to dice this garlic, and then we're going to lay them in the pan. Then cover them with foil and cook them for about an hour. We're going to add our tomato sauce to the base of our pan. Now we're going to add 2 or 3 cloves of chopped garlic. Okay, now I'm going to remove the germ so that it's not bitter and clean it up. Okay, we've removed the germ and removed some of the blemishes. Now to chop it. Now I like to add 2 or 3 sprigs of thyme. We'll strip the thyme and then add them to the tomato sauce. Okay, so we stripped them down off their stems. We're going to add them to our tomato sauce. Now I strip them down pretty far. I try not to leave any kind of woody stems in there. You can leave some tender stems. We're just going to add these right into cooking with that sauce. Okay, start our bechamel. We're just going to melt some butter, kind of on a low heat. Now we're going to add our flour. Now that we've added our flour, just going to work on our roux. And I'm doing this over like a low to medium. I'm just keeping it moving. Now I'm not going to cook this to a blonde or a brown roux. I just kind of want to, maybe 3 to 4 minutes. Alright, now we're going to pull it off the heat, and I'm going to plate it and set it aside to cool for later. Alright, so now we've added our potatoes to our chicken stock, where they will cook for 5 minutes. Now, to chop up our zucchini and our squash. I'm going to chop them about the same width, a little more than 1/4 inch. And there we have our chopped zucchini. Makes it a little bit more than 1/4 inch, maybe 5/8, something like that. Just a little bit thicker pieces. Now we are going to get back to our bechamel. We're going to add a cup of milk and heat it up slowly. Here, I add a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg and about 1/2 pinch of onion powder. Okay, so our milk, I don't know if you can see or not, is starting to steam just a little and starting to bubble. So I'm going to add our roux. Okay, and as I'm sure many of you know, warm milk, cold roux. We cooled our roux down and added it. Now we're just going to keep this moving. Okay, so now we got a little bit of a boil going. I'm just going to keep this moving. Let it get thick. As you can see, it coats the back of our spoon. So I think it's ready to add to our tomato sauce. I'm just going to work this in. We get kind of a nice creamy tomato sauce. Now we're going to layer in our vegetables and line them up. This is my pattern. You can obviously use any order you like. I like to use a fork to straighten everything up. As I come down and make my line, I can use my fork to keep my line pressed straight and tight. Now for the sides, I will put them in the same order, but I will slant them and bring them around the curve of the dish. And I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Now we're going to start making our garnish. I'm just going to slice a piece of this off, just maybe one side of it, and then dice it up to go on top of our vegetables. So here, I've just sliced one side of it off, as you can see. I add the pepper, some more diced garlic, and some chopped thyme to the top. A little bit of kosher salt over the top. A little bit of pepper. Then we're going to drizzle with olive oil. Now we're ready to cover. All right, you guys, that's our dish for this week. Join us next time, and until then, ciao.